Let's get one thing straight. Patrick Bet-David is not your guru. He's not here to sell you a dopamine fix or pat you on the back for mediocrity. He's here to remind you that the world doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about your results. While other influencers are busy building brands around flash and flex, Patrick is building empires. And men respect him for it. Not because he yells the loudest, not because he's the most viral, but because he's the kind of man you shut up and listen to when he talks. And in a digital world full of plastic masculinity and fake alpha posturing, Patrick Bet-David is one of the few men left who actually makes other men want to level up. He's not here to entertain you. He's here to wake you up. Welcome to Chad, guys. If you're not afraid of truth, discipline, and dangerous masculinity, hit subscribe. Because we're not making noise, we're making men. Let's go. Everywhere you scroll, some 22-year-old is yelling about getting rich off crypto, telling you to quit your job, and promising a Lambo in 6 months. It's all noise. And men are sick of it. Because when your life is falling apart, when your girl leaves, when your business fails, you don't need a 60-second reel telling you to grind harder. You need a framework, a strategy, a battle-tested blueprint for real power. Patrick gives you that. What makes Patrick different is that he represents something we used to see all the time. The stoic builder, the quiet assassin, the man who doesn't need to be liked because he's building something bigger than himself. And in today's culture, that's rare. Think about it. Most influencers are mascots. They're personalities, not principles. They go viral because they know how to entertain, not because they've actually done something. Patrick, he built a life insurance company from scratch and sold it for millions. Then he turned his media company into a machine that attracts presidents, power players, and real-deal thinkers. No scandal, no circus, just long-term moves and long-term thinking. That's why men respect him, because deep down, we don't just want to be admired, we want to be respected. And respect doesn't come from gimmicks, it comes from being undeniable. He built a 9-figure company before most influencers figured out how to monetize a TikTok. He's not posting from a rented penthouse. He's posting from the boardroom. And every word comes with weight. He doesn't sell motivation. He sells clarity. Let's be real. Most influencers are digital mascots. They look tough. They sound smart, but they've built nothing. Patrick, he's a builder of business, of men, of empires. You don't see him chasing the algorithm. You see him chasing legacy. He's what happens when a man decides to become a general instead of a jester. He shows up every day like a man with a plan, because he has one. And every man watching can feel it, even if they can't explain it. The softest lie society tells men today is this: you're not responsible. You're a victim. Bullcrap. Patrick Bet-David's whole life is proof that no matter what cards you're dealt, you can still play to win. Born in Iran during war, refugee camp, immigrated with nothing, and now built and sold a 600 employees company, owner of multiple businesses, father, mentor, strategist, kingmaker. No handouts, no excuses. He doesn't cry about unfairness. He confronts it, adapts, and dominates. If you're tired of being lied to, Patrick's your antidote. Most alpha influencers hoard attention. Patrick multiplies it. Valuetainment doesn't exist to glorify him. It exists to amplify value. To introduce you to thinkers, killers, operators, authors, presidents, fighters, and visionaries. He doesn't need to be the star. He needs the truth to win. One of the most overlooked traits of high-value men, they don't just build thrones for themselves, they build other kings. Patrick's channel, Valuetainment, doesn't just platform him. It showcases others, real killers, thinkers, entrepreneurs, operators. He brings them to the table. He asks hard questions. He makes you think. That's power. That's what men crave, not just content, but confrontation with truth. He could have made it all about himself. Instead, he made it about value. That's rare. And that's why people like Tate, Rogan, and even Musk respect him, because they see the long game. Patrick isn't trying to be the loudest guy on YouTube. He's building the Harvard of hustle, the Ivy League of masculinity, a place where serious men get sharper, not softer. That's power. That's legacy. He's not just trying to lead, he's trying to build leaders. You can't fake that. And every man watching knows you only become irreplaceable when you elevate others. You ever notice Patrick doesn't flex? No wild chains, no designer logos, no rented jets, just clean suits, clean speech, and command presence. He walks like a man with enemies. He speaks like a man who's already fought wars. And he builds like someone who plans to outlive the internet. There's no fluff, just fire. That's what makes men lean in. He's not entertaining, he's igniting. Want respect? Here's what you steal from the PBD playbook. Think like a founder, not a follower. Stop consuming, start constructing. Discipline over dopamine. He built his empire on routine, not reels. Ask dangerous questions. That's how he earned conversations with killers, leaders, and titans. Be the general, not the soldier. Own the outcome, even when it's your fault. Respect is earned in the shadows. What you do off camera matters more than what you post. If you're serious about building something men respect, you need more structure and less spectacle. This is the lesson most men miss. You don't need to scream to be dominant. You don't need to rage to be respected. You need to be undeniable, clear, consistent, cold when necessary. Patrick shows you how to become the kind of man who can walk into any room and make the room tilt. Not because he's loud, but because he's certain. You know what sets Patrick apart from most? He's not afraid to tackle the uncomfortable truths. From masculinity to politics to discipline to fatherhood, he doesn't toe the line, he defines it. He's not selling fantasy, he's selling reality, even if it's hard to hear. And in an era where truth gets you canceled, Patrick shows men how to speak it strategically and survive. In fact, thrive. He's not reckless, he's calculated. And that's a lethal combination. Let's be honest. Most men in this space act like big brothers. Some act like rebellious sons. But Patrick, he's got father energy. That commanding, anchoring, principled masculinity. The kind that says, I've been through worse than you. I believe in you. Now stop whining and build. And a lot of men watching this channel never had that growing up. That's why his presence hits so hard. It's not just content, it's guidance. He shows you what it looks like to build wealth without selling your soul. To love your wife without simping. To raise your kids without losing your edge. That's why men trust him. Because he's not just telling you what to do, he's showing you how to be. Look, not everyone's going to be loud like Tate, or shredded like Liver King, or charming like Rogan. You don't need to be. You need to be you, but dangerous. Dangerous to the status quo, dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to weakness, in yourself and others. Patrick's proof that you don't need to be obnoxious to be unforgettable. You just need to be undeniable. And that starts when you stop chasing attention and start chasing alignment. Alignment with truth, with purpose, with becoming the man you were meant to be, not the one the world told you to be. So let's recap. Patrick built an empire from nothing, raised other kings along the way, speaks truth with precision, moves with purpose, leads without ego, and lives like a man who understands death is coming, and legacy is the only thing that outlives you. Patrick Bet-David isn't your typical influencer. He's the standard. In a world of weak men, fake bravado, and algorithm-chasing dopamine junkies, he's what real masculine power looks like. He's proof that you don't need to be outrageous to be respected. You just need to be unshakable. If you're ready to stop scrolling, stop whining, and start building, then hit that subscribe button. Because here at Chad Guys, we're not creating fans. We're creating forces. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be respected. Act accordingly.